yeah, socialism is an obsolete concept. Great Britain experimented with it as a way of overcoming the baggage that was placed on an expanding population by the aristocratic circumstances of British society. Now, Lord Bullington, it's so difficult these days, to find proper hard help, and the masses simply don't know their proper place. I say, Lord Wilson, that's quite right,
Well, we do have, you could say, some socialist programs in America, but
yes,
we are not a socialist nation or a socialist country. And if you could just say one main negative, what's wrong with socialism though? Is it all that bad, or
it tends to set a bar that unnaturally restricts development. Some elements.
I agree with that. That's all I was going to say.
It's like, look at his proposal. Think of all of the small businessmen in the world and in New York that would like to set up a business and start pulling themselves and their families up by their own efforts to a different economic level. What is one of the main ways of doing that? You set up a corner grocery or a community grocery. So he wants to socialize all of the grocery outlets in New York City and have the city run it. Look at all of the people who will be out of business. What kind of incentive is that to somebody who might want to look into that kind of thing for self or community development? You see, it's self-defeating.
Right. Yes. And if you look at socialist nations, Venezuela, of course, Cuba, not communist, but socialism, when you look at countries that are run on a socialist government, they, like you said, is lack development. They end up going bankrupt or collapsing, the economy collapsing. It doesn't last long. Communists is different, right? What is the difference between, let's say, a communist nation / country and a socialist one? Because it's a different.
Well, look at what the People's Republic of China did. In the 80 years since it's really kicked in, they came from a nation of effective de facto slaves into one of the most powerful nations on the planet with a long-term plan that they are effectuating very well. Now, New York, if it is to be guided by this kind of mayor, has a history that it has wrecked itself with. I call attention to something most recently apparent in New York. At a fast food place or a restaurant, you could not buy a soft drink larger than 16 ounces because some people in New York thought it was unhealthy for you to have that much sugar. Now, irrespective of the fact that also prescribed Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper, and such things like that, who is it that says that a city can prescribe what you can eat at a restaurant? Versus, you just go over the line into New Jersey and there's no problem. Think about it. This is the city that wants to run the grocery stores, to tell somebody who has put a lot of effort into acquiring rental properties that you're no longer in control. We will determine how much money you get and whether you go broke.
Let's get this party started with the first. So that is what communism versus socialism.
And by the way,
but what is the difference between communism and socialism?
Well, I'll tell you this. Let's get back to socialism. And it's very scary when you think of it. The Democratic Party, which has tried to destroy the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and has tried to engage in widespread lawfare where you bring the criminal justice system to bear in political repression. Look at something that the socialists did before. I bring attention to the National Socialist Workers' Party. National Socialist Workers' Party. The German acronym for National Socialist Workers' Party is N-A-Z-I, Nazi. So you had some socialists who became the Nazi Party, who implemented the worst of totalitarianism, who plunged the whole world into war, the worst that it has ever experienced, 1939 to 1945. And you've got exactly the same indicia.
Listen to this history,
right
Judge Joe Brown drop.
To change things into a National Socialist Workers' Party situation where the rights of the citizens to speak out in dissent are being severely restricted, where the criminal justice system is being used to oppress those who are unpopular, and whereas the entire system is being corrupted by a dynamic that wants the people to feel helpless and unable to survive without Big Brother, or in this case, tranny big sister telling you everything you can and cannot do. National Socialist Workers' Party has revived after 80 years.
You marry a woman and then turn around. Are you gay?
How you gonna ask me a question like that?
How do you marry a woman and then turn around and let a man bend you over?
Ain't nobody bending me over.
Oh, so you doing the bending? Is that what it is?
I don't wake up holding another man, walking down the street holding some man's hands. That's gay, okay? That ain't me.
You're saying a lot, Carl. You're saying a lot without saying nothing at all. Are you gay?
How you gonna ask me a question like that?
How did you marry a woman
Who remember this, John?
and then turn around and let a man bend you over?
Ain't nobody bending me
That's
over.
Ghost.
Oh, so you doing the bending? Is that what it is?
I don't wake up holding another man, walking down the street holding some man's hands. That's gay, okay? That ain't me.
You're saying a lot, Carl. You're saying a lot without saying nothing at all.
Yo,
Are you gay?
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That was a powerful movie. I tell you one thing, Tyler Perry have no problem with, bringing up, gay or lesbian or dialogue. You know.
Come in the camera, buddy. Why? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Hey, I shouldn't yell at those jokes, right? I should be putting handcuffs. That's what you said. No, handcuffs. No, that's what you said. That's what you said. You're an employee. You said you shouldn't be making jokes about. I never said handcuffs. Yeah, you did. You said it should be a crime. What?
Yeah, I think the government is opening back up because uh, it's affecting the traveling. The air traffic controllers are not coming to work. They don't have TSA screeners, and somebody was on line saying that they were coming through security and there were no screeners there. So they were literally just letting bags go through. So this is a soft target timeline. If someone was to try to attack us, this will be the time to do it. So I think that's part of the reason why they're going to open back up the government, because it's affecting flight and travel and all these planes going down. They don't want another 9/11. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I think that got a lot to do with it. But thank God that people getting back to work, and we just got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And we will, because guess what? We ain't got no choice. Simple as that.
Have a freeze in a lot of places. It's not as bad as last night.
Getting cold.
21 in Gadsden and in Alabama.
Getting cold now. Getting cold now. All right, bring the boots and the big coats out.
and Anniston and
Bring
Coleman,
out
25 Birmingham,
the Super
24 Tuscaloosa.
Tims and the Eddie
All of those
Biles,
numbers are
the
either
Goose
tied
Downs.
records or new records for November 11th.
Bring it
Tonight,
out,
won't get
bring
quite
it
as
out,
cold.
bring
Like I
it
said,
out.
37 in the morning in Birmingham. It'll be colder
It's
than that
getting
in some
cold.
neighborhoods, but many others will be warm.
Key thing to when it's getting cold. If you're a homeowner, go check your pipes. And how you check your pipes? Go to the front of your house and the back of your house. And wherever your water come out, where you water your yard, that spit, you make sure that it's open, counterclockwise. Open the line. Let any water in that line drain out. Because if it freezes, it's going to burst in your pipeline and you're going to have a flood somewhere in your house, like your basement. So I hope I taught somebody something just now. And you need to do it out the front of your house and out the back of your house. It's getting ready to get cold. I remember one night back in the day, I was renting a basement apartment. I come in from the club 2, 3 in the morning, and I had to go to work that day. I used to roll like that. You know, I had to be to work at 6. I get in at 3 hours, really 2 hours, because I had to get up at 5 and be there at 6. So in that quick 2 hours, the pipe had bust in the basement. I get up out of bed and I put my feet in to some cold running water that covered my feet. So just think if I had slept a whole 8 hours. So it would have been worse than it was. Luckily, I didn't have no real furniture in there. All I had was bedroom stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you know, because I'm a bachelor. I'm never home. I'm in and out, you know. You know what I'm saying? I got my own spot. I got a few girlfriends that I'm staying at their spots, especially on the weekend. I never was home. And then I still got my room at home at my mother's house. So, you know, you know what I'm saying? So basically, my basement apartment was my entertainment lair, if you get my drift. So, you know, so yeah, you know, but then when I wanted some peace and just, you know, disappear, that's where I went at. I had my own spot. So yeah, but that's what happened. It was water in the line. And when it freeze 30 below, 48 degrees, anything under 50, something is going to bust. So check your spicks. Open the drain counterclockwise. Clockwise, you're closing the drain. Counterclockwise, you're opening the drain. So, all right, get on your game, get on your business. You'll thank me later. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Up very quickly in the days ahead. 66 tomorrow afternoon. Here's the starting point, though, and some may even be
There's going to be warm tomorrow.
39 degrees by the time you see the sun come over the horizon. But the lowest point there about 6 a.m., 32 at Talladega, 36 Forestdale, 33 in Jasper, and 36 in Northport. And then tomorrow afternoon, under a sunny sky with a southwest breeze, we go into the 70s in Hale County and Greene County, and then low 60s in northeast Alabama. Look at this, though. Tonight, with a clear sky, there's a strong geomagnetic storm, and at least one website from the Alaska Geophysical Union suggests that we might see some of those northern lights as far south as the Tennessee Valley in North Alabama. If you think back to how it was toward the middle of last year, back in May of 2024, when you were able to maybe see them with your phone as opposed to seeing them with the naked eye, that's kind of the situation for Huntsville, for northeast Alabama tonight. If you really wanted to see them, you'd have to be essentially north of Interstate 70 up into Indiana and Illinois, Ohio, and then up around the Great Lakes where the sky will be clearing tonight. I think it's fairly unlikely that we see them in Birmingham, but if we do, it would be somewhere around 9 p.m. to midnight tonight. So if you want to venture out in the chill and get your phone out, look toward the north, your naked eye may not see it, but if you have the phone on that night setting with a long exposure, you might get a glimpse of the northern lights because the sky should be mostly clear. Just like it has been for the majority of the day. One thing I want you to notice, though, is look at all the clouds down here in the Gulf, how they're moving from north.
Let me build on that. I've been to Iceland, fortunately, I've been a few places in my journey of traveling. And I learned, I didn't see it myself, but in the months of August through April, at night, the sky in Iceland turned emerald green. I forget what they call it. Some kind of, how we look up in the sky is blue. Here in America, over in Iceland, in that time frame, the sky is green, emerald green. It's a name for it. So somebody look that up, and put it in the chat. I mean, I know what it is. All I got to do is research it or pull it up. But that's an assignment for you because I just informed you about it. So, yeah. Your boy a little heavy when he want to be.
To south, those fingers of clouds are being caused by the frigid air that's blown south over the Gulf the last couple of days. Things are about to change, though. West wind kicking in, bringing the milder weather in from Texas and Arkansas, Mississippi, into Alabama later.
Letting my beard grow. I think I'll shave probably right after Thanksgiving. But, I'm really hitting the light wearing a beard. I mean, I'm 55. So, I think my look, I like my look to match my age at the end of the day. I'm somebody that's not afraid to age. I ain't trying to check out early. I got friends be talking about they ready to go. They tired of being here. And I'm like, bro, I don't even want to hear all that negativity for real. You know what I'm saying? Because even when things bad, I'm not going to allow myself to feel like that is that bad, even though when I know it is. I'm going to lie to myself. But I'm not going to purposely check out. I pose the question to folks. If you can have eternal life, would you take it? That means you're going to outlive everybody. You know what I'm saying? And you just going to be time traveling through eons of time. So, if you ask me that today, I might say yes. But if you ask me that tomorrow, I might say no. So, I'm very conflicted by that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I seen a movie that I think certain people were chose to have eternal life, and they were part of an immortal team that fought the enemy of the world, like whoever that was trying to take over the world, like Thanos, like let's just go there with it for a minute. This particular immortal team that couldn't die would travel to wherever Thanos was at. And I'm just saying that for an example. So they was warriors of the world, to keep the world from dying off, civilization, if you will, right? So, I thought that was cool if you did have eternal life You know, I would definitely want to fight for the world to keep its existence through time. That was a good movie, and I forgot the name of it, but that was the gist of the movies. These individuals were like in the military or some kind of special forces, and they were chose by the gods to have eternal life, but they were warriors for the world. And the dude that played in he done played in a lot of movies. I think he's an African as well. The guy that played Denzel right hand man on American Gangster, uh, and then that same guy played with Denzel. They done made two projects together. And the Inside Man, that was the lead detective, black dude. Then he was in 12 Days of Slavery, 12 Years of Slavery, the star of that movie. I forget dude's name, but he bad boy with the acting. A Cheeto, I'm messing up his name. He African with an African name, but he look American though. You know what I'm saying? That's like if we find out that Denzel was an African, you know. So dude looked like an American, but just like Idris Elba, he's a British Nigerian. His lineage is Nigerian, but he's born in the UK, over in London, and British and all that. So that's why he talk with the accent, but he look American, right? So yeah, you know, it's funny how he can flip it. It's a lady on our news that I watch every morning, Maureen Ume. She's like African descent, but she's born over in British London as well, just like Idris Elba is, you know. And it was funny how she was talking to somebody, and I think the subject was on they hiring British actors for American roles instead of employing American actors. You know what I'm saying? You know, and we was trying to figure out, well, I wasn't, but that was the topic of the show. What is the allure of a British playing in America in American roles that you can't hire, you know, American actors, you know? So because you'd be surprised. The dude in Snowfall, who was the lead character, that dude had a British accent. So I'm like, they really went hard with not even making him change his accent. So was they making fun of LA? Cause LA talk, you know, with a like an accent, you would say, you know, like they say people down south, you know, they even ask me a lot, where you from? Like, from DC. I'm from the hood. They said, well, you come off like you from down south. I say, my people from down south. I'm born and raised up here. So yeah. So that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So if I remind you or I could be someone from down south, that's why. That's where my people from. The Carolinas. You know what I'm saying? And then in DC, we got our own signature sound and lingo, you know, as well as look. flavor, our own music. We got our own dance, like New Orleans. New Orleans, you know, they big on the jazz and you know the way they do it down there. So yeah, you know, so I advise everybody to start traveling and get to see different cultures because it'll broaden your horizons and you know the movies you see, TV shows you watch. It just hit different when you can say, "Hey, I was there." Like what was tripping me out? When did I go? I think I went to LA in 2019, a year after Nipsey Hussle got killed. We was there on Nipsey's birthday, ironically, and we told our Uber driver, "Hey man, take us to Crenshaw and Slauson." Didn't know it was the anniversary, not of his killing, but his birthday. It was his birthday. So we were there a year later. So that means he got killed in 2018. Or was it 2017? And we was there 2018. I know it was before COVID. And the LAPD was all out there. It was crazy. You know, the donut shop, if you watch that donut shop with the big donut is in Slauson. You know, it's in a lot of movies. And I remember it, seeing it the first time in Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice video. The big donut that's on top of the building. That's in Crenshaw and Slauson. And or it might be a chain because Snoop from Inglewood. So, you know what I'm saying? They might be a chain and got that same logo, the donut. But it was crazy to be there. Then I found where the original Gold's Gym was open at back in the 50s by a bodybuilder dude. You know, he took his earnings and, you know, his money he made from competing in bodybuilding and opened the gym, which is Gold's Gym. So that's like maybe 5 blocks away from Santa Monica Beach, which I was on Santa Monica Beach and we we started at Venice and then Santa Monica is on the other side, maybe a mile down. And we took like one of them when you get in like the guys pedaling on the bike and he got the seats in the back. Me, my wife, my son, we all piled in a two-seater seat. So both of them was sitting on each one of my legs. My shit was numb when we got to Santa Monica. And the dude was paddling. So it might not have been a mile. I'm going to say maybe 45 minutes on the bike, him paddling. Walking, it might have been an hour and a half, something like that. So, yeah. So, it was crazy. So, I'm shooting ball on Venice Beach with the beach in the backdrop. And I was calling folks from there and FaceTiming. Like, my son was FaceTiming his brother. And for some reason, I couldn't even hit a shot on the court. I think, you know, I was geeked by being in Venice Beach, you know, and I ran into one of the guys that was in Coach Carter movie, one of the ball players, and he was on Venice Beach, you know, signing on autographs. You know, he was one of the main characters, the ball players in that movie. I think Shaq and Penny Hardaway was in that movie. So we took pictures with dude and you know, it's a whole culture out there you know. And what was crazy was uh somebody was playing Red Essence out there. So I rolled up on dude, you know. I'm like, what you know about that? You know, that's DC Go Go. That's Red Essence, right? And he like, yeah, yeah, you know about. I like, dude, I'm from DC. He said, yeah, my roommate from USC is from DC. When he go home, he come back and bring me tapes or CDs. And I'm like, whoa, okay, that's cool. So I was listening to Red Essence in LA in Venice Beach, California. That was big to me right there. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. You know. Yeah. So man, I done been some places, you know, in my journey, you know. I tell people, I got a coworker saying they going to Hawaii next year for vacation. I say, and then I got another friend that been to Hawaii. They was on one island like the other dude going. I'm like, well, you can go, you could be there, but if you don't do it a certain way, you ain't really getting the whole experience. And I'm biased because I did it big when I went, not knowing that I was doing it big. I ain't even going front, but I did it big by accident. I didn't even know what I was getting into. I went on a family trip to Hawaii, and uh, we was on the cruise for 2 weeks. We flew into Honolulu, which is the capital of Hawaii, and we sailed to 12 islands. 12 days out of the 14 days of 2 weeks. We saw 12 islands, and the last day was a luau that they had for us on Maui Beach. So it was awesome, you know what I'm saying? And we talking when was that? 2010. So that was before the smartphones, before I had one anyway, because I think the smartphone was introduced in 2010. That's when I went to Hawaii, you know what I'm saying? And I got pictures, but it ain't nothing defeating or better than having the video, you know what I'm saying? And on your phone and pictures and stuff. So I had the little camera, and you wind up the yellow camera, and then you had to go and develop the film and all that. So yeah, so I need to go find them pictures, and take pictures of the pictures so I can have them on my phone to start posting them and reliving the memories. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people, you going to Hawaii, you want to go get on the Carnival cruise and go to the 12 islands and make sure you attend a luau because that's the highlight of the trip. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So if you don't do it like that, you ain't experiencing Hawaii. That's just my point of view, and that's how I feel about it. You just there. You ain't experiencing it. And what was crazy was we was there when the Ironman contest went down. So we was bored in one of the islands, Kono, I think. Kuna. And the guys was in the water, swimming in the water and whatnot. We had to get off the ship into a yachty and the boat had to take us to shore because the ship couldn't go close to the island. You know, it was too big. And the guys was out there, you know, they had the Iron Man contest over that jump. So that was crazy. You know, so I'm telling you, man, y'all get your money right and get with a traveling crew or a traveling partner or go by your goddamn self. Cause trust me, you're gonna meet people from all over, especially on the boat. I connected with so many people, and you know, Detroit, Philly, Florida, Texas. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know, you gonna connect with folks. Cause one thing about the cruise ships, man, everything is inclusive. That's what you pay for. Lunch, dinner, breakfast. You pay for the drinks though, alcohol. But everything is free because you pay for that. And man, it just make you feel like you rich. That's why a lot of people like going on cruises because everything is inclusive. And you know, and you just feel like you rich for that timeline because you ain't paying for nothing out your pocket, but you already paid for it, if you will, right? So you did pay for it, but it's just the fact that you eat and you drink more than you pay for. That's what I'm trying to say. You get your money's worth and then some. So yeah, so that's just how I feel about it. So, you know, I've been blessed. I ain't even gonna front. Your boy getting sleepy too. Look at my eyes getting heavy. I'm getting ready to sign off in a little bit. I'm gonna give y'all about 20 more minutes. You know, I'll be an hour in. You know what I'm saying? And this will be my video for the week. You know, and so yeah, you know, I be trying to give y'all something once a week